An overwhelming feeling of devastation has hit this small farming community.
No words can really do justice in explaining what happened last night in Briary Branch.
July 2nd, 2007. It started as any other day on the Showalter Dairy Farm in Briary Branch. Another day in the life of the hardworking Mennonite community. But this day would end in tragedy.
Scott Showalter and his wife and 2 daughters were killed, along with a hired hand, Amos Stolfus.
A simple act farmers and family members like George Rohrer do every day.
Not only were these fellow ag producers, fellow dairy producers, they were family.
Rockingham County Sheriff Don Farley says Scott Showalter was in the process of pumping manure out of his manure pit to be used as fertilizer when he became unresponsive.
And I see each one reaching out to bring them up. And that's the kind of Scott Showalter and Phyllis that I remember.
One by one, family members climbed into the pit to help, including his 9 and 11-year-old daughters. They were all overcome by odorless methane gas.
Going from 1 to 5 is a pretty significant shock, especially when you weren't prepared for that.
Captain Joe Mullins with Rockingham County Fire and Rescue was the first to arrive on scene as a medic, coming face to face with the horrific sight 10 feet underground.
So I don't know that at that point in time we were really thinking about the magnitude of what we were dealing with. We knew we were dealing with something that was out of the ordinary.
Mullins quickly called specialized hazmat units, and they responded from all over the county. With the threat determined as methane gas, Fire and Rescue Chief Jeremy Holloway and former Chief Robbie Simons immediately turned their attention to the safety of the rescue crew.
We had to control the scene and make sure that nobody else went into that area without personal protective equipment on.
Switching gears from a rescue to a recovery.
Once we got done and you go in, you see this, these kids and things, it's heart-wrenching to you.
When these kind of things happen, it becomes very clear that today could be your last day.
For days and even years after, friends and family tried to make sense of what happened.
I think instinctively we all know of those dangers as dairy farmers or as farmers, but you always think, no, it won't be me, it won't be my family, it won't touch my community.
How an act of selflessness could result in 5 lives lost.
And a lot of people, have forgotten about it. Now I will tell you that that community probably hasn't forgot about it. I know we haven't forgot about it. When you see things like that, you kind of tuck it away in the back, but it's still there.
A not so distant memory, as clear today as it was 10 years ago.